Infernal greetings, infernal blessings to all. There is a new product program that I am releasing for 2024. I understand some don't have the means to get into class, some don't have the time to get into classes. So, what I intend to do this year is if you have a particular topic and questions about that topic or subject, then you send me the topic and the questions under that topic or subject. I will then record a video for you specifically answering your personal questions or questions to topics and subjects. And then the video was $25 for that product of topic or subject. And this will be a new program I'm releasing for this year. You would email me at the Vampire Temple of the Black Serpent with your subject, topic, or question. I would then record the video. And then once you make the payment through Cash App of $25, you will have a full response to your questions about a topic or subject in detail. And I may include diagrams and so on and so forth, since I can have time to edit and complete the video in a way that live classes are unable to be done. So this is going forth for the rest of this year. And this will help those who may not be able to get into the Patreon classes to get a burning subject or topic answered for you and give you the insight in a one-on-one discussion with myself through a live video that I record for you answering your questions about that topic or subject. Now, many do ask questions regarding the left-hand path. Sometimes I think people hold back on asking questions. That is a person's choice. There is no right or wrong question. There is no right or wrong on a left-hand path. There is figuring out what works for you and what is best for you. That is what the left-hand path is all about. Too often we, as individuals, are stuck under tradition. We're stuck under religion. We're just stuck. The problem with tradition, even left-hand path traditions, is it's just that. It's a tradition. It has a certain system, it has a certain working, certain structure. Now, you can gain benefit, but in reality, your benefit's limited. And it's because you're still working within a structure, within a box. Someone thousands of years ago created this system. It's been passed down, no matter if it's adversarial or not. And you're still doing it within that box. My problem that I've had on the left-hand path is sitting back and realizing that some of the things we do and say is no better than what right-hand path people do. We're still under a structure. We're still under a system. We're still stuck under a box or inside of a box in the left-hand path. But if this path is to be a unique path, if this path is to be breaking free from the old paradigms, truly becoming your personal isolated consciousness, then we have to break free, period. And therefore, you have to find a way to bust out the box, so to speak. To me, yes, I love vampirism. That is like a passion of mine. I love necromancy. But even then, I've noticed that there is systems and traditions and structures that still limit the potential of the neophyte, the acolyte, the fellow craft and the master. It's limiting. A lot of it can be limiting. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's a lot of left hand path traditions that are still stuck under dark gods, goddesses, worship, offerings, rituals, work, specifically to that archetype, god, deity, demon, and never put you in a seat or position of truly obtaining apotheosis. See, the problem with that is we can tell you on this left hand path that you are a god. Well, what are we really doing to make you a god other than putting you back under a certain system? Even the Qliphoth. I love the Qliphoth. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I've worked it, continue to work it, but even then I see the limitations. You're still stuck under working under a god, a demon, a gateway, a tunnel, so on and so forth. It's limitations. At some point, there is a limit there, and it doesn't totally tap into what your personal apotheosis is. My objective in the Patreon classes is to help you personally find what your personal apotheosis journey would be like as compared to what is provided and given to us. It's no different than going to a sneaker store and you're going to be given a selection of Jordans, of Nike, of Adidas, of Asics, of New Balance, so on and so forth. Yes, you have choices, but those choices are provided and given to you. That's pretty much how it happens even on this path, the left-hand path. There's choices given to you. Discovering your own is truly what leads to apotheosis. Now, as you see the image behind me, that image is there because what I'm segueing to is why did Ravana choose the Sith path if it's fictional? It comes from the mind of George Lucas. Well, anybody who's practiced chaos magic understands you can use anything for your apotheosis. What I realize is if you really want to claim left-hand path, then you would do yourself a service and research the philosophy of the Sith, the behavior of the Sith, the magical systems of the Sith, so on and so forth, and you would see that the Sith in itself is a prime example of the left-hand path. That it's more than just a movie. That there is historical connections to, let's say, the Brotherhood of Set, to the Temple of Set, Sitech, Sutech, that when truly observed from the non-traditional eye, you will understand why Ravana chose Sith as the creme de la creme to create his personal journey for apotheosis. The philosophy of the Sith, the characteristics of the Sith. It is to be a true master, and therefore the rule of two to the Sith is essential. You have the master who embodies the Sith essence, the dark side powers. And you have the apprentice who craves the power the master possesses, and in time must take that power away from the master. Nowadays, you have people in the left-hand path who are masters or supposed masters don't want to give you a lot of what they know. So you take it. The Sith take that. They're not gonna ask questions. They're just gonna look, you got what I need. I'm taking it from you. Whether now or later, I'm taking it from you. I think if we had that kind of mindset, you would see people excel on this path to greater heights. To greater height. Because unfortunately, in tradition, you are limited. You are stuck to a point because there's a box that's been created for you with all these nice little trimmings, all these nice little workings. Where's the independent creativity coming from? You could say, well, yeah, I created an invocation for Hecate. Yes, it's still Hecate. That's the point you're missing. It's Hecate. It doesn't matter if you personally created your own invocation for it, it's still Hecate. Hecate has symbols, Hecate has magical workings, Hecate has a structure to it. Where's your independence in that? The Sith is, to me, chaos personified because, yes, we were given some structure, a little bit of information and structure in some of the Star Wars novels and in the movies, but there's really never been a full breakdown that encapsulates what a Sith is. This is left up to you, the independent traveler on the left-hand path, to create. You are the one that has to do the work to understand what a Sith truly is. Now, you have some individuals out there that are doing the work of creating the Sith, but they're too philosophical. And that's my problem, is sometimes philosophy gets in the way, which is what the problem with the Greeks were a lot. They would philosophize about a lot, but never do work in regards to finding the answers. This is why when Plato and Aristotle and some of these other individuals came to the mystery schools of Kemet, they send their asses right back to Greece. Said, "You ain't ready. You coming in here with a pompous, arrogant attitude, like you have so much knowledge, and you've never really done the work to truly understand if your philosophy even is true." If you can't even survive a shadow work class, a Sith shadow work class, what makes you think that your philosophy is sound? It's not. And why it's not sound is because you're not taking the journey within yourself to understand your weaknesses, to understand your insecurities, so on and so forth, so that when you create your philosophy, you have answers that can help individuals also deal with that. This is one of the problems in a lot of left-hand path is too much philosophy, not enough action. You can philosophize all day and tell me this, the feminine this, and the left-hand path is the path of the feminine, and so on and so forth. But just because you're a female doesn't mean you encapsulate what that means to be feminine, dark feminine on the left-hand path. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, because feminine and masculine has nothing to do with gender. It can personify in genders, but it has nothing to do with gender at the same time. And this is the mistakes people make, is they put their own personal issues, social, emotional, and mental issues into the mix. And then you're sitting there like, what does this have to do with your personal journey? If patriarchal, matriarchal took over or ran the show or whatever, it has nothing to do with your personal journey. That's your butt hurt because of trauma in the past. Because at the end of the day, in the spiritual, the astral, none of that shit make a goddamn difference. They don't give a shit in the astral what your butt hurt about. It's a spiritual war many times in the astral. But y'all want the fluffy in the astral. Oh, you want the demons to come and hug you and say, "Oh, you're so sweet and nice." I don't know what the hell y'all doing, but that ain't it. wake the hell up and realize you are still being put in a box. Some of y'all now want to be demonologists or demon sorcery. So you go to an individual who's going to initiate you into that path. See, there's the problem. Again, those individuals that initiate you may not always have your best interests at heart. I've learned this personally from journeying and being initiated in certain temples in the left hand path. It's still someone over you. This is why I broke free from a lot of that, because I can't no longer give someone the power to dictate when they give me a ritual. Don't. Fuck you. You're no greater than I am. You have no more knowledge than I do. You just may have read some few books more than me or got initiated in a couple other places more than me, but that knowledge is mine too. And I take it. And when I tell you I take it, I take that knowledge, whether you want to give it to me or not, because there's ways to get it from people. And they don't even realize they're giving it to you. The problem is stop putting yourself in a box. Even on this path, like I said, there's boxes. We got to break out of the boxes, man. We got to break out of the boxes, man. I've had a war with myself. And that's why y'all haven't seen me in a few months. I've had a war, serious war within myself. Breaking free from that worship DNA that is activated inside all human beings. Breaking free. And when you find yourself starting to go back under that worship, you got to wake the hell up and cut it. Cut it. And I had that happen. No, I'm not speaking because I feel mightier than y'all. I'm speaking because I'm also currently experiencing topics and discussions I'm bringing up. I had to stop myself, say no more. I refuse, from last year to this year, going into this 2024, I refuse to worship anything. I refuse to worship anything, anybody. I bow to no one. And this is the hardest lesson I had to learn, is you're still having someone feed you knowledge when you wait for an author to put out a book. When you feel like you must read a book to get some knowledge that is already existing within you, and you just have not done the work to activate it. I don't care if you've been journeying on this path for 50 years. If you're still waiting for an author to put out a book, to do a ritual from that author, you are doing yourself a disservice, because you're not discovering the answer that exists within you too. No author has something you don't. Let me repeat that again, but slower. No author has any knowledge that you don't. You just haven't done the work to obtain that knowledge. So therefore, you feel they're in a position of power over you as far as the knowledge they have. But that knowledge exists within you. And it's existed within you because your knowledge goes back to the beginning of time. Who the hell is not able to tap into that is because you're not doing the work. We have that all within us. And my peoples, you know who I mean when I say my peoples. That knowledge existed in certain lands prior to anywhere else in the world, and was filtered out of those lands, that land, to other lands. And now those other lands feel they have some superior knowledge because they took our knowledge away from us and made us afraid of our own power, our own sorcery, our own knowledge. It has to stop. It has to stop. My channelers, if you feel like you have to channel something or someone's information or message, you still also are within a box. You don't need nothing to channel anything to you. Why don't you channel your own DNA knowledge that exists within you for thousands and thousands and thousands of years back. My spiritist, my spiritualist. It comes a point where you have to understand why the dark side is supreme. And that journey, make sure you take it at some point. My conscious people, wake up. As many of you conscious people only talk. You do no work. That's a fact. I was in the conscious community for many years. Y'all do no work. Y'all talk, you like to dress the part, but you do no work. Wake up. It's 2024. As you can tell from the last few videos, I'm not playing this year. I'm coming hard. And my objective is to really bring the gods out. The gods out by activating the power that exists within you, but you have to do the work to activate it. I'll give you the formulas to get that done. That's what my purpose is this year, 2024 and beyond. So I do no more classes videos when I can't do it and can't just function anymore doing it. Until then, my passion is to activate the true DNA of the gods. Not the worship DNA, worshiping gene, that gene that exists in humans to worship outside of themselves, bow down, blah, blah, blah. Nah, I'm waking up the rebellious gene. Some would say the gene of Enki, the DNA of Enki that put inside of us to awaken and rebel against the oppressive and suppressive spiritual systems that currently exist on this planet. That is my objective and my purpose. Waking that DNA up, creating the formulas to wake that up. Thank goodness I have a good brother who works with me in this journey, Demetrius. We got some really juicy stuff to come this year. I have a new ritual created for the vampire class, feeding the gods. Feeding on the gods, sorry, feeding on the gods. How you actually devour the essence, the power, and the consciousness of gods. Similar to what the pharaoh Unas did in ancient Kemet. But this is a different twist to it that for this day and time that will bring you more power. As they say in Spanish, more poder, poder, power. You need it. You want it. Let's get it done. That's for the vampire class. How to devour the gods, feed on the gods, and take their essence, their consciousness, their life force for you. If you feel that's wrong, you're on the wrong path, buddy. Because there's no right or wrong in this path. This is the difference between myself and others on the left hand path. I'm not trying to be friends. I'm not trying to respect and bow down to anything outside of myself. If it's outside of myself, you are food that will be devoured. Call me crazy. I don't give a damn. But all that respect shit, bowing shit, man, please kick rocks, man. You think we were respected? Huh? Do you think we were respected when the so-called Anunnaki came here and said, let me create a new type of slave? Do you think we were respected when we were enslaved again in the future? From that time to the future to then this time? Nah, that respect's done, man. I'm looking for the beasts. I'm looking for those who are ferocious. I'm looking for those who want to devour. I'm looking for those who are done with the games and the rules and the regulations and the morality that keeps you controlled. I'm done with that. I'm looking for the beasts Male, female beasts who are ready to just devour. That's the people I'm looking for. Now I understand. I was questioning myself for over a year, why a lot of people ain't in the classes and blah, blah. I got the answers now. I understand why. Because there's a certain type of energy that I'm trying to attract. And it's the beast-like energy and the ferocious consciousness to devour, to destroy, and then create anew. And people that filter the way they were supposed to, they might not have that energy. It's all good though. I still love and respect them, but I'm looking for a certain type of group of people and energy that we could go hard on this. I'm talking about hard. We doing day and night rituals. We doing long distance community rituals. We are doing a personal ritual here. I found a location in Orlando. I got to talk down the price, but I'm gonna have a group ritual here once and for all in Orlando. It's beautiful, big size space. We might start at the smaller space, but the big space is lovely. That's the work. Frontal blessings to all.